All right. You guys sound fucking awesome as usual. These guys have always been one of my favorite bands. Now you got an off-on switch on there.
Thanks.
Actually, you know what? These guys actually are responsible for me having my first break. The first song I had published on a record was on Midnight Dynamite.
Bang, bang.
There you go.
Balls of fire.
Actually, you guys wrote that. I wrote some of the music, but they gave me a shot at getting published, and it was a big deal for me. So thanks for
your riff. We stole your riff.
It was a great song and a fucking great album.
Remember the Mexican restaurant we used to go to like every other day in New York?
I do, yeah.
What the fuck were they called?
El Caliente?
Cancun. Cancun. Just Cancun.
Cancun Cantina.
Something like that. I don't know. It was good though, wasn't it?
Good, yeah. That was 1986.
Yeah, it was. 85.
85? You guys have an age a day. What do you drink? A glass of blood a day?
Rolling Rock. You rock and roll is Rolling Rock.
They don't show up in mirrors, so... And if you probably don't need to photograph them either, I guess. Anyway, so these guys are a great band, and you guys take the mic because that's all I do. That's my shtick. Let's hear what you thought about the show, and if you dug it, and what you're doing. If you got a new record, what's going on with that? When's it coming out? And then they've got some questions for you. So here you go.
All right. Everybody keeps asking about a new Kicks record. Yeah, you know, if you think about it, Donnie Purnell, who was the bass player and pretty much the founder of the band, is no longer involved, and that's his choice. So when we got asked to come back out and do this, we had to do it without him. And I don't think it would be a true Kicks record without Donnie involved. So I just tell everybody, and we tell everybody, that if you want to hear material written after Kicks, check out Funny Money, which features me and Mark and Jimmy, who's tearing down these drums right now. He's not here right now. If you want to hear some stuff that Ronnie's written, he has a band called Blues Vultures. That's his real project. Funny Money's our real project, and Brian's out with Rhino Bucket. So if you want to hear new music, check out those three bands. And if you want to hear the old music, which I think, if you come out to a show like this and we play shit you never heard of, you go, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear Cold Blood. We want to hear, you know what I mean? So I don't think there's no record labels knocking on our door saying, create a new record. So we just like to come out and do the old stuff for the old fans because I think it's what you want. And if you really want to hear new music, check out Funny Money, Blues Vultures, and Rhino Bucket. Go ahead.
Before you guys worked with Full Hill, you guys had a slightly different sound before Midnight Dynamite.
You think?
Yeah. Walk us through the process, how you changed, and just tell us a little bit about that, man.
The first album was right out of the bars. I mean, we wrote everything in the bars. So that record was a breeze to make that record with Tom Allen. He was a drunk and we were drunks and we had a great time. Yeah, he just go in there and do shit, and we did. The second album, the record company and management stepped in, and we had to make their record, not our record. So that Cool Kids record was a major step backwards for us. I mean, we fought them, but we lost. So we had to record other people's music that we weren't real happy with. But we thought, you know, if you want to get on radio, you got to listen to these people. So we did, and to this day, hate that fucking record. Hate it. Third album, we hooked up with Bo Hill. It was just hot off the Rat record. I loved Bo Hill. I thought Bo was he got involved. He became the band member. So he like tore the music apart. He was essential in everybody in their creativity. And I just thought he made a great record. We met Kip through Bo, and that was one of the most fun records that I ever made.
That was fucking amazing album.
It was a great record.
Midnight Dynamite.
Yeah. And then Blow My Fuse, the record label through Tom Allen, well, not Tom Allen, that's Tom Werman. Tom,
That's my next
you want me to be honest? You want me to blow smoke up your ass?
Honest.
All right. Tom Werman was a joke.
Really?
Yeah, he was a joke.
Okay.
I mean, he hired good people to be around him, and they did all the work, and Tom took all the credit. We didn't need him.
That's the one thing about Bo. He's a very talented guy. So if producers. I'm sorry, I'm answering.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying.
You know Bo very well.
Because we did. I mean, he was my producer for a while too, and he was
And then, even though the record did really good because we were really prepared. I mean, after Cool Kids failing miserably, Midnight Dynamite was sort of crawling up a little bit, and we were starting to get noticed a little bit because we took all of our bar money and would go to the West Coast and Chicago, and we'd go back to the East Coast and get more money and go back out. We did it all on our own. The record company did shit for us until the fourth album. And it wasn't until, where the hell was it? Don't Close Your Eyes would never even been released if it was not for the manager of Great White at the time. Because Alan Niven, yeah, he was managing Guns N' Roses at the time, so he had some weight. So we were out with Rat, we were living on... You're right. Here, let Brian tell it.
That was Great White and Tesla, and every night he'd hear us play Don't Close Your Eyes, and he kept going to our manager and saying, how come Atlantic's not releasing that song? And at that point, Atlantic said our record was done. They weren't going to put any more money into it. So Alan Niven personally went to Atlantic and told them they'd be crazy if they didn't release that song. So they did. They took his advice.
So the album went, it took off. Up until that point, we had mild success with Cold Blood, with our first release, which was the first real video we ever made in our lives. Then I think we followed up with Blow My Fuse, and then they said, record's done. And, we've done pretty well, better than we've ever done before. We toured with Rat, the first time we'd ever been in arenas. We toured with Tesla and Great White, and that's where we met Alan Niven. And Whitesnake. Which album was it? The one with Way Cool Jr. on it. So, I forget what I'm talking about. I'm sweaty and I stink. Oh, producers. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Don't Close Your Eyes catapulted the record that took us to platinum, and it got us to tour the world, go to England, go to Japan, and we loved going to Japan for the first time. Can I answer your question? That's a long answer, wasn't it? Christ, I'm tired. I'm drinking.
Who else has a question here?
Alright, so last year was this retro rain, this year extreme heat. What is it that makes you guys the must-see act that everybody will sit through all of that, those elements just to see it?
I think our work ethic, and it's always been this way, and it goes back to the beginnings of the band. We used to play this club in Leonardtown, Maryland, and we played 6 nights a week, 5 sets a night. And we would do this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to nobody. So we learned to get out there, and no matter who was in that crowd, to give it every fucking thing we had. So that just instilled that, and every show, that's the way we take them. If you can't give it your all, then you shouldn't be there. You already had a question.
I came from Japan to see Kicks.
You're a good man. Thank you.
Pretty hot in Japan, but I imagine it's pretty hot out here today.
You think?
Is this the hottest show you've ever played at?
Phoenix, about 2 months ago. Yep, I thought we were in Africa. And I had to poop the whole time.
Okay, what else?
Ronnie, as Kicks dissolved and you were looking for things to do, I'm from Montana. I appreciate country music really great. I love Tammy Tucker's work. How did you transition from, Kicks to the Blues Vultures, brother? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm a big Rolling Stones fan,
Okay.
and especially with their, around Exile on Main Street, the late 60s, early 70s.
I had to relive it, but I'm familiar.
And also, I really like Chuck Berry, of course, and the black musicians like Muddy Waters and roots rock and roll. And I just wanted to play the music that I grew up with again,
Okay.
and that style.
Wow.
And Kicks is a hard rock band.
Sure.
Got to do that. It's awesome. I love it. I love doing it again. But it's also, part of me is that roots rock and roll sound.
I
And
dig Marshall Tucker too, man, and I dig the Blues Vultures,
Right.
brother. Thank you.
thank you.
Big Ronald Bucket too, man. Anybody
I know
else?
Bucket.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir,
Alright,
Brian.
so why do we retire the old why do we retire the old cold shower umbrella and sell it on eBay?
Really? We were there with Kansas. Went to Kansas, yeah. We were there, and the winds were like 30, 40 miles an hour, so when I popped that thing up in the air, it went. And Mark and I began to sing the intro to Cold Shower, and we looked at each other, and the umbrella was flat, straight up in the air, and we just started laughing. I mean, couldn't stop laughing. And the umbrella was fucked up. It was done. So we were just going to throw it out, and Brian said, "Oh, we should sign it and put it on eBay." Just as a joke. And he said, "Okay, go see what happens." And they want to get like $550, $560. So we're drinking for like 3 weeks now.
All right, we got to get these guys out of here to do radio. Go ahead.
All right, Mark, you're in Funny Money, along with Steve, and just tell us a little bit how you came to join Kicks and what your thoughts were initially about joining the band.
I think I'd known all the songs already, so they were like, he already knows the songs.
To paint the nut wagon.
That's right. Well, I used to play in bands that, I'm from the same area as these guys, and I used to play in bands when Ronnie was making Midnight Dynamite. That's when he and I became friends. And so it was sort of, I remember going up to Steve's house one day, and he was like, "Oh, I remember you. You don't have to play anything for me. You got the job if you want." And I was like, "Okay, I'll see, tell me what songs we're playing." And that was it, really. It was really that simple. But, I feel lucky to play with Steve and Jimmy every single week. I mean, Jimmy's a phenomenal drummer, and, Steve does all the work, and I just sit there and play bass, and it's really a pretty good gig.
Okay,
That's the truth.
We got to get him out of here.
He's being humble. He's a great addition to the band. We love having him.
Yeah, nice. Do you guys mind just standing up and letting him take photos for 30
Do we have to face him, or can we turn around?
Whatever you want.
There you go, ass shots. Okay, ready? 30 seconds for photos. 1, 2, ready, go.